The outro is awesome. What's up, friends? Today we're taking a look at the album Between 1 and 2 by the K-pop group Twice. Talented Korean group with some great producers. Just solid synth pop, and I'm excited to check out this full album. We'll be looking at it from the perspective of a producer and songwriter. Let's dive in. Talk That Talk starts out the album. Just using some phenomenal synths on this song. I like how they introduce all these really cool synths at the beginning and then you see them throughout the song. I love the second verse so much. The groove going on, as well as all the different background vocals and how they utilize background vocals just throughout this song is so good. Tell me what you want, tell me what you need. I honestly cannot get enough of that chorus. It's so good. It's so catchy. I love how they build on it. There's just a really great synth arrangement. I mean, in general, throughout this song, finding spaces between vocals, and then at the end, having these really interesting rhythms going on in the chorus. You have, individual syncopated chords from certain synths, and then you have these arpeggios at the bottom, like on the low end, kind of in the bass, and it just melds together so well to create just a beautiful synth arrangement. It's so good at comes to that point where it's feeling on like Max Martin synth pop. Like, these guys have really paid attention to the genre and taken things in a really nice direction. Just hearing them do those like higher vocals at the end, just toward the top of their ranges, just sounds so good. It's such a good song. So many props to Clapstone and MRCH for the production on this song. They just really, really showed up. And the vocalists are just killer. They're just so good. Okay, Queen of Hearts is next up. Click. This chorus is like a Taylor Swift level caliber on that. Just those guitars pair with the vocals. It's so brilliant, so well done. They're getting so many really beautiful guitar tones. I think in terms of just sound quality throughout this album, we're seeing just excellent work. Really close attention to details. Those guitar solos during the last chorus and outro are so good. It's crazy how this song still feels really cohesive and fits so well with Talk the Talk. Because Talk That Talk is just a synth pop song. And this one has so much guitar work, but because we're having cleaner tones out of those guitars, they fit really well with the sounds of the synths that we had on Talk That Talk. LD Noise really showing off his technique, finding some good levels, bringing out the vocals, making it sound very poppy. That drum production was really clean. There are sections where it sounds more realistic and then sections where it sounds more like electronic drums, and they blend together so well. Please subscribe. Please, please, please. Thank you. Next up is Basics. Really great use of guitars in that first verse. That sample is really good. It kind of reminds me of like a Doja Cat vibe, but higher energy, just really hitting it. I really like those background harmonies in the chorus. Just very smooth sounding, really creating a nice ambience. So many things to like about this song. It sounds very modern, really fits in the modern pop landscape. You can tell they're paying attention to the music that's being put out right now. I really like those arpeggios in the guitar. I like their use of bass. kind of coming in at specific moments, syncopating with the beat, creating a really nice groove. They take everything away and it's just the vocals, and then everything comes in again and it just feels so natural. Great harmony stacking going on. Just in general, the instrumentation on this is really cool. Great composition. Really paying attention to the right moments to like add and take away percussion, guitars, synths, vocals, finding places for those vocal harmonies. Everything fits together just so nicely. I dig it. I dig it. Trouble is next up. That bass line is just so popping. They found such a great like bass synth, and it's just bouncing around, like hitting kind of individual notes, nothing too elongated. Feels good. All the different like filtered vocals going on the right side of the panning are just so cool. I love the way they filtered them and just the high-end sounds that they're producing. It's so cool. That bridge is so good. It just switches up the energy so much, taking away that percussion, adding it back in, really slowing down the vibe. Oh, it's so cool. Oh, there's just such great syncopation in that song. They follow just so many different genres, and they pull from so many different genres. That second verse has this great hip-hop vibe to it. Pulls from house music in a cool way. My latest album is more folksy sounding, and my last stuff has been synth pop. And hearing this just makes me want to get into synth pop again. It's just so high tier. It's such great synth pop. Ear Attack, Chan and Dharm really are just on their A game on this song. This is just a phenomenal synth pop song. I love how this album so far is exploring so many different genre influences and exploring so many different kind of like types of music, but they're staying so cohesive. Completely different producers, but the whole album just fits together in this really nice way. The next song is Brave. I like in the verse that pairing of kind of that steady rhythm and the high end with that bass line that's just coming in on specific notes and just like emphasizing certain portions of the song. It's cool. I really like that instrumental, the electric guitar that's doing that. Dun, 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 dun. It just has it's just such a catchy instrumental. I think the instrumental is even catchier than the vocal on this song. Also, the pairing of acoustic guitar with those synths is cool. Yeah, the song is good. I liked the pairing of acoustic guitars with synth. Reminded me of some early Utada, and it fits well within like the context of the album, but it's probably my least favorite song so far. It's still good. I wouldn't call it a skip. I think the chorus still works. I just don't think it's quite as strong. I don't think the melodies are quite as strong as some of the other songs on this album. Gone is next up. This has to be my favorite intro to any of their songs on this album. I love the strings and then how like these synths kind of play on top of it as they're automating it to take out more and more of the high end from the strings. So cool. I see the lies on the tip of your tongue. This chorus feels like a Skrillex chorus. It's so cool. That synth just da 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 da, and then like the breaks in it and like the way the percussion goes is just so Skrillex. It's so cool. I love how rhythmic that bridge is. It's so cool. Just such a great contrast from the rest of the song. It's so cool. It's so good. I see the lies on the tip of your tongue. The outro is awesome. Oh, it's so cool. What a great hook. Just so many great hooks in that song. Going from my least favorite song on the album so far to probably my favorite song. This one's like worthy of study. It's such just Soak and KNY Factory just kill it on this track. There's so much interesting percussion going on from those kind of bubble sounds. It's these kind of like great influences from EDM. And also the vocalists are all just pulling their weight. Everything sounds so smooth and so good. The belts are just fire. Great song. Great song. Okay, last song on the album, When We Were Kids.
We were kids. 호기심 가득하던 때 좀 서툴.
I love that first verse. I like how the kind of more low-end synth pairs with the vocals, and you know, first they're following the same rhythmic pattern and then the vocals break away and are doing their own thing on top of the rhythmic pattern that the synth is still doing.
다시 돌아갈 수 있다면 더 많이 사랑할 수 있을 것.
Great emphasis of specific lines with those harmonies. Da 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 da. Good stuff. Good stuff.
We were kids. 다 놓고 푸른 세상을 향해서.
Great harmony stacks on that last song. I love when, you know, harmonies are used as an instrument, and they're doing that in a really cool way here. I do it a lot on my latest album that's coming out September 22nd. Make sure to pre-save it. Kind of in that feminine vibe, in that kind of fantasy world type of feeling on this song, which I think fits really well with the lyrics. Good song to end on. Very light, cheerful, happy, but still a little like melancholic and nostalgic. Yeah, I enjoyed this album. It has a nice, cohesive quality to it while exploring and kind of expanding in different directions. There are moments that are just really great. Some songs are killer pieces, like Gone, like Talk That Talk, Trouble as well. No real stinkers from Twice. They're always finding good producers to work with. Really large cast of producers for this album as well. So it's surprising how cohesive it still sounds, how like well put together with so many people getting their fingers in the pie. Which also goes for the group. You know, it's a bit larger of a group, I guess kind of like mid-size for K-pop groups. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope it gave you some insight and appreciation for the production of this album and the songwriting as well, the melody creation. Feel free to check out my other K-pop reactions. They're right up here, as well as my latest album, Giovanni, which is synth pop. And make sure to subscribe. Thanks so much. Catch you on the flip.